As the POW camps, the prisoners there being released, they were kept under a certain amount of control because the Allies, as they went forward, were overtaking these camps. So these camps then automatically came under the command of the Allies. But the thing then was, what were they going to do with all of these prisoners, which they wanted obviously to get back to the United Kingdom as soon as possible, irrespective of what nationality really they were. They had to be looked after. And the authorities turned around and thought, well, the only best way to get them back to the UK was in fact to transport them by air. We flew our Lancaster on our squadron with a proper operating crew: pilot, flight engineer, bomb aimer, navigator, wireless operator, mid-upper gunner, rear gunner, 7 people. And then on our aeroplane, of course, we carried 24 POWs, 31 souls on board.
They must have been very uncomfortable in the aircraft because they were only sitting on bags of straw, and the fumes in the fuselage were very good. But they couldn't thank us enough.
You see, there wasn't a lot of space really where they could safely sit. You had some up the front, some between the 2 spars. Then after the spar, where the rest bed was, you could have 2 or 3. But it all worked out quite well. I mean, when you used to think we used to put 1 4,000 pounder and 12 500 pounders, and those poor souls, I don't suppose, weighed even 70 kilos each.
They did look very relieved to be going home, and we were chuffed to take them home.
R.L. Rutherford, POW 3276, captured the 20th of 12th, 43. This page is a wartime log, a lot of memories. Well, I was made prisoner of war in the end of December of 1943, just a week before Christmas. I got up to 23 operations altogether, and on the 24th I was shot down over Frankfurt, and after a couple of nights wandering around in Germany, I was captured and taken prisoner of war. There have been several rumours beforehand about us being repatriated. Eventually we got a Dakota, took us to Belgium, and then Belgium bombers took us back to Britain. We went dashing in. The first thing I did was I made a beeline for the mid-upper turret, because you could see from there, you could see right out, and we could see everything on the way home. We sort of stayed in the turret and saw all the bombs where they'd been bombing all the V2 sites and whatnot, and then we saw England coming up. So it flew over the White Cliffs, lovely.
This was taken at Pomigliano, and these were the chaps that we were bringing back home. There were 18 of them, so you can imagine they were very well cramped in the fuselage of a Lancaster. This photograph was actually taken by one of the prisoners of war. I've never seen anybody so pleased to see us. They just wanted to get back.
The skipper gave them a bit of a running commentary, like when we passed over the French coast and he could now see the English coast, and there was a bit of a cheer went up. They were pleased to get home, weren't they ever? Some of them even, when they jumped out of the airplane, got down and kissed the ground.
We wondered what sort of reception we were going to get. When we landed, went down onto the tarmac, and there was a whole crowd of WAFs waiting. Right, walked in with a WAF on each arm. A wonderful reception, really. It was good.
The names they gave some of these operations were quite apt, actually, weren't they? Exodus, you brought these poor souls home.